Alright, hello my children. So today is going to be a very quick video. I'm just going to show you how to quickly do inheritance using class names. As you can see here, I have an enemy that I created for one of the games I'm working on. He has a whole bunch of different nodes and components and stuff that make him work. So if I want more enemies, the last thing I want to do is to reconstruct all of this. So that's where inheritance is going to come from. So we can go to our other scene here, and my little test scene here. I have a red node, or excuse me, a red enemy and a blue enemy, and then I just set them both up in their own similar scene. As you can see here, there's the scene. This is all 2D, obviously, but it works in 3D as well. But both of the blue and the red, they both have a script attached to them. This one here, as you can see, has nothing in it. This is the red one, I believe. No, this is the blue script. Has nothing in it. And then the red script has some of this stuff here, and I will show you exactly what this is for. And then I have one class, or excuse me, one script that pretty much rules them all. This one here is just going to extend the class body 2D. And then I gave it a class name, enemy-based script. This is going to allow Godot to essentially load this script and allow other scripts or other entities to grab it, any of the code that it has in here, as long as they use the same name. As you can see here, I have a unready variable composition, get node sprite 2D, and this is just so in case you do have, Jesus Christ, in case you do have a bunch of nodes like this, as you can see here in the enemy script that I have in my original one, he's got a lot going on. So this right here is just to mimic that. That's what this is for. If you have enemies that are going to be very, very similar, as you can see here, I got a red enemy here and a blue enemy here. They both have the same composition. All I did was I just took the blue enemy here, Control-Shift-S, and I just made a duplicate copy of it. So I'd say here blue enemy, and then I could just put 2. That's it. You can now see that I have 2 separate enemies, and they both share the same composition. So let me just get rid of the duplicates here. This is just easier than duplicating it, because if you duplicate it and you change the size of something, it changes the size against all of the duplicated entities for some reason. This just eliminates that. That's why I saved a separate entity. Anyway, so that's how you can get your composition to be exact, and then you can just change the sprite to something else. I have a physics process, a custom function called rotate me. This is going to cause it to rotate. So let's say this was your entire script. You have, let's say, hundreds, if not thousands of different lines, and you want to reuse as much of this code as possible. Obviously, like I said earlier, you make this class name, and then you would give that class name to other scripts. So here, as you can see, if I go here to the script, and go to the blue script, and I click on the blue enemy, you can see there's nothing written inside this script at all. But if I hit the play button, you will see that he's rotating. There not being any code. And what's happening is, because I told it to extend it from this script, it's grabbing all this data right here and allowing this thing to access it and use it. But what if we want to change some things? So, for example, the red script, maybe we don't want it to rotate. Maybe we want it to move instead. So all you would do, create a brand new function, this physics process within the new enemy, which should be the red one. And then what you're going to ask it to do is do super dot and then the physics process. What this is doing is it's overriding the physics process of the original script, but you're also telling it that you want the physics process of that said script. So it has essentially two. They're not two different physics processes. This is just allowing it to split off, so you can use whatever code is in this physics process while also adding new things. So here, as I said before, because it's grabbing this physics process, it's grabbing the rotate me and the move and slide. And if I wanted to do something else, I can just add a brand new function here, do something else. It's just going to allow this thing to move up and down, I think, if I'm correct. No, it's just going to make it move down. So if I hit this play button now, you'll start to see that this one stays put, but this one here is starting to move downwards. So maybe now, hopefully, you're getting to see how this is working. But let's say you didn't want to do any of that at all. Let's say everything, everything is all hunky-dory, but the only thing you want to change is a function that's already in here. So let's say you don't want this thing to rotate anymore. So you can actually just override that function. And as you can see here, there's this little blue arrow showing you exactly where it's inheriting from this script. And then you see here, I have rotate me delta. It's the exact same one as here. And instead, we're rotating in another direction. But let's say I didn't want it to rotate at all. So I'm just going to do that and hit 0. Hit play. And as you can see here, it no longer rotates. Despite me not having it called in the physics process, this is actually overriding the same name of this function right here. So it's no longer influencing this particular entity because I told it not to. So yeah, I don't think this was very confusing. So hopefully you can see just exactly how powerful this can be, or how useful this can be. That's essentially what I'm going to be doing with mines, and so it can be inherited from other scripts. That way I can have multiple different enemies with pretty much the same basic functions, and then tweak them so they do different things based off of how I want them. So for example, let's say this was a melee enemy, you know, he strikes, but this one was a long range, so this one would shoot. That's kind of the idea. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Yeah, I'll leave this code in my GitHub so you can see how it works. And until next time, my children, farewell.